Hey, what's going on, folks? Ty from BreakerCulture, and this is episode 97 of BreakerCulture Weekly. And I'm here in a hotel room with my family out in northwestern Colorado in the mountains. I did bring this nifty little mic so I could have a conversation today with StarStock CEO Scott Greenberg. It's my second time having Scott on the show. And we wanted to follow up and talk about some of the great things happening over there. We've been talking a lot about StarStock because they're a sponsor for our show, but also because, look, I use them a lot. I've been using them a ton the last 6 weeks. A lot of folks in the Discord community on the BreakerCulture side have been using StarStock. And look, there is a strong value proposition for what StarStock is doing right now. And especially as you look at just the high velocity of trades in the marketplace with baseball, basketball, quick movers, and the upcoming football season, like it's a no-brainer. And we talk a lot about why that makes sense. And then also some strategies of buying and selling and players that are kind of sticking out behind the scenes at StarStock. So I think you'll really get a lot of value from the conversation with Scott. Because I'm way up here in the mountains, we didn't have video on the faces for bandwidth reasons, but we did show a lot of things that we were talking about on the StarStock site while we're talking. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to follow along with us as we're clicking through starstock.com and mentioning players and strategies. If you're listening through iTunes or any other podcast, then you can go to the YouTube link in the show notes and you can follow along there. But we are super excited to have you. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast and also at BenchClear, youtube.com/BenchClear for everything we're doing on the BenchClear side. Other than that, have a great week. Talk to you next week. Scott, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's going on, Ty? How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm staring at some 11,500 foot mountains here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, with the fam. Could not get much better.
That sounds amazing. Wow, that's great. I hope you have a TV there, though.
Oh my goodness, you kidding me? We rush back, we go hike, we come back to watch NBA playoffs. It's the best of all worlds right now.
Unbelievable. I'm so jealous. That sounds like the best place to be quarantining. Couldn't think of a better possible place.
Something like that for sure. What about you, man? Are you just soaking up all the new? Okay, last time we spoke, there was no sports going on, so it was like, what's going to happen? And now it's like you can't get enough of sports. They're on 24/7. I feel like
it's unbelievable. I mean, playoff basketball at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Like you can't beat it. So it's been really great, and it's been really exciting to see the business grow since we've had sports back as well.
Oh man, yeah, we're gonna dig into that because I have lots of questions around kind of what starts. I mean, it's been the chatter across our community really since we had you on 5 weeks ago. So many folks have shifted over their collections and cards, and they're talking about how they're buying and selling now. It's super cool. But let's talk a little bit about just and you're a sports fan, you're a sports nut. I think it's probably a fair statement. What do you think about the NBA playoffs right now? I mean, you thinking it's met expectations, exceeded expectations?
I mean, it's exceeded my expectations. I think obviously the NBA's done a great job with the bubble. That's worked out really well. The quality of play is actually, really good. It seems like these guys came prepared and ready to play. I just think it's a lot of fun. The playoffs are wide open. There's some really, really good matchups, and it seems like it's wide open. We have 2 1 seeds, or we have the 1 and the 2 seed in the West. The Clippers and the Lakers, and they're kind of on their heels right now. And so it really feels like anyone could come away and win this year, which we haven't really had that feeling in the past. Even with the Raptors winning last year, it still didn't feel like at the beginning of the playoffs like they were going to win, or like it was wide open. It still seemed like it was, the Warriors or another team. And so I've just been enjoying how these lower seeded teams seem to really have a shot to take the title this year.
Yeah, I mean, how real do you think that is, though? I mean, of the 8 seeds or the lower seeds, I guess, who do you think is the most legit?
I think Portland's really, really good. Like, I think Portland totally has a chance to win the championship this year. You know, they got their two big guys back from injury, and they're just a completely different team. And Damian Lillard's one of the best players in the NBA right now, hands down. He might even be the best player currently right now. He might be playing the best. And so I think they're really good. They're pretty deep. They have some good defenders. Hassan Whiteside might now be like the best third string center in the NBA. So I think they have a legitimate chance to, if they can knock off the Lakers, they can go pretty deep.
Yeah, well, it's hard to argue with that. I think that would have been my choice too. If you're going to pick 1-8 seed, it's got to be Portland because you got the player that can change the game. But other than that, like, do you think Orlando has a shot? Do you think they're a fluke?
No. I think the East is. I think the top teams will make it out of the East. I'd be surprised if the top four didn't win the first round, actually. But then once you get past that, you have those four teams like the Heat, the Celtics, Bucks. That's going to be really fun when it gets down to the Eastern Conference Finals and semifinals. That's going to be a blast.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like in the East you got to get rid of the pretenders and let's get the guys that we know have a shot playing against each other for some fun.
Do you have any rooting interest? I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm pretty. I grew up. Basically, I've been trained to not have any like rooting interest in the playoffs, besides for my favorite players. But I'm curious if you have a team.
I do. I like the Spurs a lot. So I've always liked the Spurs growing up. But over the last few years, my family's kind of taken a liking to the Nuggets because they're basically the closest team to us.
Okay.
So yeah, and they got Michael Porter Jr., who's a Mizzou guy, so we're a big Mizzou family. So yeah, we're big Nuggets, and we're here in Colorado, right? So it's like it's on local TV. It's kind of fun. We're enjoying it.
They are another team that like I don't think they have as much of a chance as Portland, but they like Michael Porter Jr. is playing like a top player in the NBA, and he's a game changer for them. He could be kind of like that missing link that they needed.
For sure. No, it's crazy. Like, I mean, we're talking about cards now. It's like there's only a few players that had that, I don't know, that really tight coil where you had so much interest in them and they were popular and people were accumulating their cards. And you knew like once they had 3 or 4 good games, they were going to explode in prices. Porter was one of those guys. And you could see it when he had that one big game, the first big game in the bubble. And it was like $400 for his PSA 10 silver to $1,000 overnight. It was insane. Absolutely insane.
Crazy. Yeah. But like, if you watch the guy play, I mean,
he's legit.
He is so legit. Like he can score from almost anywhere on the court. He's 6'10". He's carrying the ball up sometimes. It's awesome to see. It's really cool.
He has such a smooth jumper. His jump shot is so beautiful.
So beautiful. Yeah. So
anyway, so maybe give me a couple of the guys that you are sticking out to you in the bubble. Obviously Lillard. We've mentioned Porter. What 2 or 3 other guys are you really interested in watching and kind of surprised by maybe? I'll give you one while you're thinking. Donovan Mitchell. How about this guy?
Oh my gosh, he was crazy the other day. So we sold so many Donovan Mitchell cards the other day. So we actually traced a few individual cards that were like flipped 3 or 4 times in 24 hours.
Wow.
And so he just exploded. I think he had 20 points at half. He ended with 57. I've always really liked watching him. It's been really like, obviously it's always fun to watch Luka, but I've had a lot of fun watching that series. I just find it so intriguing with Kawhi on Luka. Like, I just think that's an all-time matchup. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch. I've been enjoying that. We put the games on TV here at the office throughout the day.
Oh, beautiful.
And so I'm able to kind of like pop my head in and see what's going on every once in a while. And so we have a thread in like our Slack channel where we're posting about players that are going off and playing well and whatnot. And so it's just been really fun to follow some of those guys that have had big performances and then to go into the website and see which cards are selling, and just to see that direct correlation. It's really been cool to see that over the past few weeks, because that was kind of like the vision a year ago now when we started this. And so for about 11 months later, for it to come into full effect and to really see it's been cool to see.
Oh, that is cool. I didn't even think about that ability behind the scenes to kind of put tracers on cards and kind of see them flipped over and over again. That's a fun thing for sure. I'm guessing guys like Donovan Mitchell, of course, but Porter Jr., Lillard, those guys, you got to have enough quantity to a certain extent to be able to do that, right? But what other guys are you seeing flipped a lot right now that are
a lot of those younger guys? I mean, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyler Hero, Donnie Mitchell. Recently, like, a lot of people have been eyeing guys like Darius Baisley and Dante DiVincenzo, kind of going for some of the lower valued Prism cards that could really take a boost this playoffs. I think DiVincenzo is an interesting one. If they make a late run, I think he's super good. And so, yeah, just like typically, like, a lot of Bam Adebayo's being sold.
Yeah.
What's been really fun, I've been like kind of checking in every so often, is to watch the Zion Prism price. I just find it fascinating. And so we sold one yesterday for $500. And so that is from, I think, July 24th. We had one sold for about 1,000. And so that has just been insane to see that drop. And so it's fun to follow. It's really just been fun to follow these prices now that sports are back.
So let me show that real quick, since we have the ability. So I'm typing in Zion Williamson. You're talking about the Prism base, right?
Yeah,
so we go
right
to the base. We scroll down here to the chart. Holy moly. Look at that. And what is that? A month? Basically a month, it's cut in half.
Basically a month. And so I've been watching this. I've been trying to figure out, all right, what's a good price to like go and buy some of these. And because the Pelicans overall were very disappointing in the bubble. Zion, he played well, he shot well from the field, but it did look like he was a little out of shape. I have a feeling he's just going to be in top form next year. I think that he's going to be working around the clock this offseason to get it in better shape. And so, I mean, even if he's just the same Zion, we know those prices are going to fly right back up come November, December. And so I've been watching that. That's been pretty interesting. 500 is pretty low. That
is extremely low for a base. That's so I'm guessing Ja Morant's probably. It's probably, so look real quick. Ja Morant's probably priced about the same as Zion now. Is that? There you go. What's craziness. He's at 600. Forget chasing Zion, man. You're chasing Ja now.
Who would you put your money into right now if you had a choice?
If I was to put my money into a guy from this class, I would probably drop it into a guy like Tyler Hero. Or really? A guy like, yeah, I would. Or a guy like, yeah, I mean, look, a base for $600. I mean,
but like he showed that he's going to be an all-star unless if something really bad happens, right? Like he's so good.
Very good. Elite. Yeah. He's elite.
He is elite. That's the word I was looking for. He's definitely going to be an elite player. Hero's an interesting one because I think his upside, I've heard people do the Kentucky comparison of Devin Booker or something. And like, that's probably his upside. He's a good shot creator. He's an amazing shooter, obviously, but he could also be a 3-point threat, like a good scorer, but he might not reach the all-star status necessarily. And it really does seem like I'd be surprised if Ja Morant wasn't an all-star next year.
Yeah, well, I think some of that's priced in. I think you're seeing some of that priced in already. Look, I agree with you. I think Ja Morant's going to be a better long-term player for sure. But I'm thinking, okay, which guys would I want to put money into that I think have the best chance of gaining in value? Guys like Hero stand out to me. Guys like Chuma Kiki, who ultra talented in college, and just had the injury, kind of like a Porter Jr. Right? That's your Porter Jr. for next year, right? Chuma Kiki sat out.
You gotta put this quote in a tweet or something. Okiki, the Porter Jr. for next year. We're gonna hold you to that one.
I'm looking right now, so you can go get a prism base of Chuma Okiki on StarStock right now. StarStock A too for $5. That's crazy. That was $10 early or late June. Huh. You'd probably get it for less than that. Yeah, there you go. Anyway. All right, so real quick while we're here, I want to check Donovan Mitchell and kind of see what was going on there.
So check him out. We had a lot of action on Donnie Mitch past couple of days. I think a good amount on the Prism. I think the Optic might have even gotten a good amount of love as well. Yeah, so you can see that. And basically all across the board, PSA 10, 9, BGS 9.5, PSA 9, StarStock A, they all went up.
Okay, so let's stop here for a second. So right now, so this is my point. Right now, I could go buy a Donovan Mitchell. The last one sold for $425. PSA 10 base Prism with a lower print run than a guy like John Morant. John Morant's going for 600 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Who in their right mind would not spend more money on Donovan Mitchell right now than John Morant?
It's a good point. It's a really good point. Yeah. I mean, they're both so good. They're both really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Donovan Mitchell might be a Knick one day.
Look at you. So selfish. Unbelievable. So you're talking about the rated rookie here? You said the rated rookie was moving pretty good?
The optic was moving pretty good. I think this one's the Donruss.
That's the Donruss, yeah. There you go. Oh, nice. It is fun seeing the optic rated rookie starting to move across the board. Yeah, look at that. Holy crap.
Yeah, and so if you look at the left side, you can just see Monday was just nonstop. It was all that stuff is Monday there.
Wow. Wow. So that was beautiful.
Very, very cool to see. Fun to watch. And it's, we've been getting like tons of DMs from people sharing their experiences. And so Donovan Mitchell was a great case of this. Just probably dozens of DMs of people that were like, I bought this for $30 and I flipped it for 45. 2 hours later, I bought Mitchell at halftime for this amount of money and I sold him the next morning. And so it's been really cool to hear those stories from our users.
That is cool. So look, yeah, it's a great segue because I mean, we talked 5 weeks ago, right? And that was your vision. Obviously, your very clear vision going forward was to create this marketplace that allow people to buy and sell and really to be in position to take full advantage of that by the time the football season started. You and I were talking about, and here we are, right? Baseball's going crazy, basketball's going crazy. Do you feel like StarStock do you feel like you've positioned the marketplace good enough to take full advantage of it, or do you feel like you're still missing a lot of components to really take full advantage of the marketplace you're hoping to capture?
Yeah, I mean, like if you ask me, I still think we're missing a lot. We have a lot of work to do.
Okay.
We've only been live, I think it's 3.5 months now, and so it's been really exciting to see, some of the traction that we've had out of the gate. But we're just getting started. We need to improve in almost all areas. We need more cards. We need to improve the product. We need to just improve the overall experience of sending cards to us and getting them shipped out. And so we're working on that every single day, and we're making huge improvements, especially this month alone. We've improved a lot. We've really been focusing on getting as many cards onto the site as possible. And so we're getting about 3,000 to 5,000 cards sent to us a day now. And
wow.
So, a couple months ago, we were only getting several hundred to 1,000 cards on the site a day. Now, we're getting thousands of cards up every single day. And so we actually, we launched a tiny little feature yesterday where you can see the amount of cards we have on the site. You can see the amount of like different types of cards, as well as the amount that are listed for sale. And so you can see we're nearing our 100,000 card mark.
So where do I see that? Can I show that real quick?
Yeah, right on the marketplace.
Okay.
Right at the top. And so
there you go.
The count right there. And so you'll see like when we refresh this page in 3 minutes or 5 minutes, you'll see that the cards and vault number is going to be probably 20 or 30 more than it is right now. And it's because we have people that are just putting more cards into the system around the clock. And so
there you go.
Yep. So
live proof.
Live proof. Follow us on our goal to 100,000. Everyone here at the on the team here is super excited about it. We have some prizes and a planned party put into place when we reach there, and so we're on a full court press to 100,000 cards right now.
You're gonna hit that tomorrow.
Yeah,
you're darn close to it.
We will.
What a great way to usher in the weekend. NBA
right?
playoffs. That's awesome.
Exactly. We told the team that if when we hit 100,000, we'll stop for a few hours. We'll eat some pizza and we'll just watch some basketball together. And so everyone's excited about it. We're watching basketball together anyway, but we're doing work at the same time usually.
That is fun. So for folks that don't know, right? So cards in vault is your 94,707, and then the for sale cards. So people put these in their vault, and then they decide when they want to sell something. So that's the discrepancy between the two numbers.
Exactly. Yep. So that means about 40,000 cards are being held to flip it some other time.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Which I love. That's part of it that I love, right? You can buy and you can hold it and do what you want with it. It's going to sit there and you can accumulate in value and sell it when you want. It's a beautiful thing. Now, so real quick then, for those that are holding their cars, not putting them for sale, are those being seen by prospective buyers searching the site? Like, hey, this is out there, but it's not for sale yet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And so as you're going through the marketplace, you'll see some, you'll see a card that has 0 for sale, but you'll see there's maybe 10 cards in the vault. That just means that people bought them and they want to hold on them for right now. And so you see a good amount of that in football right now today. Because a lot of people's strategies are, all right, let me buy a couple of these running backs or a couple of these wide receivers. And, by the time the beginning of September rolls around, they'll probably, be more expensive than they are right now. And so we're seeing a lot of people holding there. We've seen a lot of people recently. It's been pretty interesting, investing in non-bubble players as well to hold on to. And so people, like an RJ Barrett or some of the other like good rookie or young guys that aren't being talked or spoken about as much because they're not playing right now. And so those are good hold targets as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Guys like Trae Young, Cam Reddish, guys on teams that were.
Yeah, totally. Like no one wants to sell those right now because you're not gonna get your top price. And so if you have those guys, it's probably in your best interest to hold till at least like November or December when the the regular season's picking back up again.
Yep.
And so a lot of those cards are being held onto right now. I think you can see like that PS, even Trae Young alone, like look at that. PSA 10, 9 cards in the vault, only 1 for sale. PSA 9, none for sale. He's not at the top of his market right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So if I go put quantity to buy, right, and I put my max offer, does the people that have the cards in the vault, they're getting that offer too? Is that what I'm hearing? I see what you're doing. Yeah, okay. So the card available is 1. You're bidding on that particular card. Cool.
Yeah. So if you were to click submit offer right there, that card's yours.
Yep.
If you were to change the price to, let's say, $700 flat, then you'd be putting in a bid. And so an email would be sent out to everybody that has that card for sale. And they'd get notified that you placed a bid on that card. And so then they can go in and accept that bid if they'd like to, or they can just ride it out.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So easy. So stinking easy.
Yeah. It's great. And so, and all that stuff is in the activity page as well. The activity page is really, we built this as the easiest way to manage your bids and your listings. And so you can go in and you can quick accept. So you can basically, you sharing some information here?
Maybe.
Who are you investing in? Pascal?
Been snagging a few Pascals.
You gonna move the market right now? Is everyone listening going in to buy some Pascal?
That was a while ago. That was a week ago. So that's lit. I gotta refresh my listings here. My goodness, I'm running low.
I know, right?
Holy crap! So real quick note, I wanted to point this out because I thought this is pretty fun. So I wanted to run my own comparisons. I kept a good part of my BGS 9.5 base rookies from 2018 and 19. So Soto, Acuna, Glaber. I put all those guys out on eBay. I put them on StarStock. StarStock has been selling for like 25% more than my listings on eBay.
Yep. Yeah. We've
You seeing that? Is that?
Yeah. Okay. You know, the reason why, at least what we think is, there's a few reasons why. First off, buyer's not paying sales tax, and the buyer's not paying for shipping. Only a few percent of the cards are shipped out. And so those two things is, the buyer's obviously saving money there when they're purchasing cards on StarStock. The other thing too is they know that they'll be able to flip at the most optimal time. And so I think people pay a premium to have that comfort that they can relist that card in 1 second, and that they don't need to take photos. They don't need to print the shipping label. They don't need to set an auction. They don't need to worry, that the person who buys the card might not pay, or that there's going to be a refund. And so we kind of take a lot of that stress off the plate. And so I think as a result, we're seeing that people are willing to pay a few more dollars to buy a card on our site because there's just less stress. It's just a lot easier.
It makes perfect sense. Like that to me as a buyer is worth paying 15, 20% more. Like it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. By the way, you got the value prop down. That was impressive.
Yeah, I was.
You've done this a few times.
Yeah, I was rehearsing in the shower this morning.
Do re mi fa so. Value prop.
Yeah, and so there's buying cards on eBay is just really, really stressful. You have to worry about fraud and scammers. You have to worry for ungraded cards. You have to worry about the conditioning. Our StarStock A sells at a premium to ungraded cards because people know that we're taking a look at them and that they're mint condition or near mint condition cards. And so we're just basically we've built this site out of our own frustrating experiences buying elsewhere. And so we try to we just try to on every kind of aspect of the experience of buying cards or selling cards, we just try to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So tell me about some of the strategies you're seeing, because it does bring up a good point. We had this conversation in Discord the other day. So a couple of our guys are finding that they're getting really good value and going and swooping in and buying StarStock A's versus even considering a PSA 9, like for them. And I don't want to hold you to what your StarStock A's would be graded out as, but what are you seeing kind of as trending in terms of big buyers? Do they hesitate, or do they gravitate towards StarStock A, or do they gravitate towards PSA 9 and 10s? Anything stand out to you?
We see both. I'll be the first person to tell you, buying a PSA 10 card is really, really safe. You know exactly what you're getting. And so, we have, it's really kind of on the individual and what their strategy is. But we're seeing tons of people kind of treating the StarStock A as for some cards, it's going at a very similar price to a PSA 9. Or like a BGS 9. And so that's been pretty cool to see, really interesting. Our goal with the grading is for a majority of the StarStock A's to grade as 9s and 10s. We're looking at all these cards with a naked eye, and so we're not going to be 100% accurate on the same page as PSA or BGS. But we're looking with the naked eye, and we're looking at the corners, we're looking at the surface, and we're looking at the edges. And if we see anything that stands out as an issue with the card, unless if it is extremely, extremely, extremely minor, we're notching it down to a StarStock B. And if there's multiple issues, then it's getting a C. What's been really, really interesting to see, actually, and before launch, my partners and I, we had a conversation about potentially getting rid of the StarStock C, and even potentially maybe getting rid of the B as well. Oh. And it's been incredible to see how many people are buying the Bs and Cs. How many people are like, you know what, I don't really ever want to grade this. And I know it's, less value than the A or a PSA graded card, but I can still buy it at a price and I can still flip it for more. And it's still, an investment in an athlete, in a card. And you can still, go to your collection on StarStock and see that card. And so we've been selling a lot more B's and C's than I ever expected. And so that's one of the things that's jumped out as, one of the more surprising things that we've learned from launch.
That's interesting. So I think about this from the perspective of a seller, right? And I get this all the time, right? Hey, Ty, what should I do? I have a stack of base cards from a player. I want to send them into grading, but I'm unexperienced, or I don't want to wait 8 weeks, or for the $40 standard rate, or I don't want to wait 8 months for the PSA standard. What should I do to get these things graded? I mean, from a seller's perspective, it's sending them in and having you guys kind of classify them quickly as a StarStock A, B, C, and them, being able to take advantage of some of the premiums of a pretty nice, near mint condition card is a no-brainer for them. It's no sweat off their back.
Totally. Yeah. And so we've been hearing a lot of that from our users recently. With the weird sports season, the weird schedule that we have for the next, I guess, 12, 18 months.
Yep.
With basketball restarting back up in December, it doesn't leave a lot of time for people to get their cards graded. And obviously, it seems like most of the grading companies are really, really backed up. That's an understatement, actually. And so, yeah, we've had tons of people that are emailing us. They're like, you know what? I took the cards that I put aside for my PSA submission. I'm going to send them to you guys. They'll be up in a couple of weeks, and I'll be able to sell them, as opposed to, waiting for them to get graded and, trying to sell them in 6 months.
Yep.
And so, unless you're really, really, really confident that you have this card that's going to get a 10, and the value of the card super, super high, it seems like that's a good strategy. Just, it's way more liquid.
100%, right? Time value of money. You just run the numbers pretty quickly. I think you realize the numbers probably play in your favor in most cases. I think it's a beautiful move. I love what you guys are doing with kind of the intro level grading. Now, this is a total wish, and I don't think it's probably ever possible because of the volume you guys are handling. I think we briefly talked about it in episode 1, but have you guys even thought about the idea of being able to run submissions to PSA, SGC, or BGS through your inventory in StarStock?
Very much so.
Okay.
In fact, we're playing around with a few different ideas internally. We're doing some tests. I've been sending some cards to PSA and BGS to kind of feel out the process. It's something I haven't done personally often. I haven't personally put together submissions to send out to them, so I've been doing that a lot recently. Just kind of looking into that. I'm actually putting one out tomorrow. I'm going to send one out tomorrow to PSA. And so it's something that's definitely on our roadmap. We'd love to do it. We'd love to have the ability for you to go into your collection, select a group of cards, click a button, send them to get graded, and we'd send them off and get them shipped right back into the vault. Definitely something we're going to do. Hoping that in the next few months we can, start making moves towards that. It might start off pretty basic, just sending out, like an email to our customers, posting on social, advertising that we're just going to start doing submissions. And so we really want to get a better picture of what the wait times are. The issue is that, there's really no trust on when you're going to get the cards back. You hear all these stories of people doing, 20-day submissions, cards coming back months later, doing submissions that are supposed to take a couple months, and it's taken like almost a year. And so that's kind of the hesitation on my end, is just really have no clue when the cards will ever come back.
100%. Yeah, I think that's what everyone's struggling with that right now. Hence the quick explosion of SGC, and then all of a sudden SGC had problems, right? And they're dealing with the same frustrations of running a grading company. I don't know if
which grading company is yours, like your grading company of choice?
I prefer BGS. I do. I send most of my cards to BGS, hundreds a month to BGS.
Uh-huh.
And it's for two reasons. One, because I like the slab better. So more of an aesthetic reason. And then two, I've run these numbers, and look, the gap between PSA 10 and BGS 9.5 is probably wider than it ever has been, but it's very cyclical in the sense that it usually comes back, and you're somewhere between a 40 and a 50%, margin between PSA 10 and BGS 9.5.
We were talking about that here the other day. Super, super undervalued 9.5s.
Yep,
Like the gap doesn't make sense right now.
It doesn't.
I totally agree with you on that.
Tons of value there. And when you're sending in bulk and you have the opportunity to get BGS 10, which sells for basically 2x PSA 10 in most cases, and a black label, which will sell for 10x, like, it's just, for me, it's always worked in my favor to send.
How many career black labels do you have? And not buying. Like, how many have you sent in and gotten black labeled?
I've sent in probably in the last year 4,000 or 5,000 cards to BGS, and I've only gotten 5 black labels.
Wow. Well, so, any more than that would be a little concerning, right?
Well, no, and I'm okay with that. I really am. Yeah. Like, I want the card to be, I want it to look like a black label. I don't want there to be any question about it. And so I'm totally okay with that. When I read the stories of guys sending in, 100 cards and getting 15 black labels, it just makes me want to puke. It's like, come on, you're ruining the sanctity of this.
You got to work for it.
Exactly. Come on, man. Oh, but no, man, I love it. I mean, look, if I'm BGS, SGC, or PSA, and I see that you're nearing 100,000 cards, and you're in your inventory right now, I'm finding a way to work something out with you guys, right? Let's create a system to and look at that. We're at 94,800 now. Just went up another 100. 94,826. My goodness, we might hit 100,000 here.
We're flying here. I'm telling you, these guys want to hit 100,000 so bad. Promised them pizza. I promised them we'd open up cards. We'd watch basketball. They're inputting on a whole other level right now.
Well, if we hit 100,000 in the next 9 minutes, you got to buy me pizza too. Is that a deal?
That is a deal. That would be what, 5,000 cards?
Done. Yeah, we could do it. Root them on.
That would be pretty wild. No, yeah, but so, like, on the grading thing, we've been getting, like, it's been night and day. We've been getting so many more graded cards sent to us, and so it's been something that we're really focused on right now, is getting more graded cards on our site, and so, we think we have a really, really great site for graded cards. Obviously, you can make about 2 times more profit selling a graded, buying a graded card and flipping it on StarStock than on eBay. So we had a sale about, I think 3-4 weeks ago. Someone bought a LeBron James Topps Chrome PSA 8 on our site. Okay. I think it was for $2,300. Okay. And they flipped it about 10 days later for $3,500.
Wow.
And so we did the math, and on the buy side, with no sales tax on StarStock, and then on the sell side with our 5% seller fees, the profit on StarStock was over $1,000 compared to $500 on eBay. So literally 2 times profit. And so if you look at those numbers, it's just a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
And so we've really been focused on getting more graded cards on the site. We're getting a lot of really big submissions with higher quality graded cards. And we're going to really continue on that initiative, especially, moving into football season. And so we're really, really finding that a lot of users are getting their PSA, their BGS, SGC submissions back and sending it straight to us, or even filling in our address for the grading companies to send directly over to us as well.
Just put the IV in. Right into the bloodline. Just
right. I mean, like, you're getting the cards graded. You want to sell them. So we have a totally different processing line for our graded cards as well. And so our non-graded cards get uploaded onto the site anywhere between a week and 3 weeks. And for our graded cards, they're all up within 48 hours. Because we don't have to review them and give them a StarStock grade. And so they just go right through. We have a whole different processing line for those. And so you send us your graded cards, they'll be in your collection, in a couple days.
Amazing. Amazing. No, I the best part of, you didn't even mention this, but I know we talked about it already. The best part about all that, especially heading into football season, is you sell a card, and if the dude, unfortunately blows out a ligament in his knee the next week, you're not getting a return request on eBay. Right? This is final sell. You sold it, you moved on, you moved to the next player. Done.
Final
That's beautiful.
sell.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Hope that doesn't happen, but it will.
Has that happened to you frequently on eBay? I see it all over Twitter, like literally all over Twitter. It's nonstop.
Yeah. I would say probably somewhere between 5 and 10% of my sales right now are being either canceled or returned.
That's crazy. That's a high number.
It is. It is. I mean, when you're selling hundreds a month and you're getting, 5 to 10 of them back.
And would you say like the most common reason is just because the players increased or decreased in value? Do you think it's for like shill bidding reasons, or?
I think in a couple of my cases have been the player didn't perform as well. And all of a sudden they're not interested. Actually, it actually happened to me with one Zion, funny enough. Because I had been on the backside kind of talking on the podcast. I think Zion's overpriced, and then I sold some Zions and people returned them.
That wasn't smart on your part. Let's be real.
Exactly.
You couldn't wait for the following podcast. Couldn't wait 1 week.
Transparency, honesty, man. That's what we stand for here. I don't care about my sales. No, but then also, right? It's just it goes without saying, right? The economy right now is very shaky, and I think people either losing jobs, not getting, government funds. When they spend $500-600 on a card and they have buyer's remorse a week later.
Yeah.
Whatever. It just happens. So you're susceptible to that on eBay.
Totally. And it's pretty easy to buy a card and then, go on the next day and see 2 more cards that you want even more. And then you have to make a decision.
Exactly. I had this the other day. A guy said, "Hey man, like I want to cancel this buy that I had," and he hadn't paid for it yet. And 2 days later, and he goes, "I'm not even going to pay for it because I'm going to go ahead and return it anyway when I get it." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "I decided I don't want it. Looking at another player." It's like, and he knows he's got me. There's nothing I can do about it, right? I could send it and complain. eBay is going to require me to get a refund anyway. But that's the type of stuff. It's so nice to not have to deal with that, right? Legitimate buyers and sellers moving and shaking. That's the way it should be.
Absolutely. Yep.
Gosh, dude, we have so much to talk about. We didn't even talk about baseball yet. And baseball's been crazy fun.
Baseball's been great. It's so of the 3 sports that we have on StarStock, that's probably my least knowledgeable sport. But I've gotten so much more into it. Now that we're up and running, and I've been getting into buying cars, been flipping some Tatises here and there, and I bought a few Eloys the other day.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. It's been really great. Really good fun. I think the quality of play in baseball as well has just been through the roof. It's been, tons of home runs, but who doesn't love home runs? It's been great to watch.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. That was going to be my comment. I think baseball has been, I think the shortened season has done even more than we could have expected from the hobby side in baseball. It's just like every couple games. I feel like as a collector, I'm just like watching these games, watching these players, knowing that if they hit a home run or 2, in Tatis's case, like their prices are going to just shoot through the roof. And they are. Like they absolutely are. So fun.
Crazy. So would you throw him, where would you put him in your MVP race right now?
Oh, he's number 1, not even close. Trout, Tatis right now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Judge was making a good case for a little while.
He was. That injury hurts. That hurts
every
big
year.
time.
You gotta build it in for him and Stanton. Just like every year, they're gonna miss a certain percent of games. It seems like, at least.
Yeah, no doubt. It's gonna be really fun, right? Because you got guys that normally perform well, or you're expecting to perform well, like Acuna, Yelich, guys like that who their values have fallen off like considerably, 20-30%. And talk about good opportunities and guys that have a lot of interest. That's going to be fun. Really excited about baseball, man.
Absolutely.
We don't have enough time to talk about it, though. All right, we got 2 minutes. I got some questions here for you real quick before we let you go. Favorite vacation spot? Where do you go?
Martha's Vineyard is a good spot. I also I like Los Angeles. I haven't been there in like 4 years, but I really like LA. I have a good friend out there. So I've always had good times out there.
Cool.
Never been to Colorado.
Never.
It's on my list. Never been to Colorado. My buddy just moved to Denver. I'm hoping to get there once traveling is okay again.
Wow, no kidding. Well, the card market's hot and heavy in Colorado, big time. So
it's what it seems like. It's one of those hotbeds.
Yeah, it is for sure. Okay, what's the least favorite movie you've seen recently? And recently can be pretty broad, but what comes to mind? Least favorite.
Least favorite movie. My girlfriend made me watch this movie with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston a few weeks ago. It sucked. I don't even know the name, but that's definitely it. I don't watch movies too frequently. I'm usually watching sports. I watch a TV show here or there, but it's usually sports that I'm watching. But I watched a terrible Adam Sandler movie with my girlfriend.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Enough said. Aniston and Sandler. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Don't watch it. All right. 2 more questions. Which comic book character would you want to be?
Iron Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you have said that before the movies?
That's a good question. Probably not. I think when I was younger, I liked Batman.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then pick one card you're buying today on StarStock. Which card is it?
One card today that I'm buying on StarStock. For me, what I like to do is I think I gave this cheat last time I was on, but I like to go to the new arrivals and the latest listings. I like to see what just got on before anyone else can see them. And I've been going after football players that I just know, once they're on TV again in a couple of weeks, they're going to go up in price. And so bought a few DeAndre Hopkins the other day. And so I'd go with D-Hop. I think he's going to have a big season. I think the wide receiver market, we spoke about this last time.
Yep.
Wide receiver market's going to really increase. He's going to be playing with Kyler Murray. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Beautiful.
That's my pick.
Love it. Well, I just showed real quick while you're talking how to find the new arrivals and the latest listings, because I do think that's a great way to sort and see what's coming in. So be sure to do that. But man, we are 68 cards away from 95,000. Gosh darn it. One more refresh. Let's see where we get 90. Oh, we're so close.
63. Was that 5 cards in like 2 seconds there?
You guys are machines over there. I absolutely love what you're doing, and it's always a blast to talk to you. I look forward to having you back next month.
Appreciate it. Can't wait.
All right, brother. Take care.
See ya.
See ya.